And to me, a big question is what's going to happen in LA with the Rams now with just Kupp. You got Cooks gone, and now it's just Kupp, Woods. You got Higbee there as well, maybe seeing a spike. Which of those guys, if any, are you targeting? Who do you think benefits the most? How do you see this all playing out?
Trying to figure out the Rams offense is, for once, tough because last couple seasons we've had just locked in. They ran 3 wide receiver formations, boarding pretty much anyone, Gurley, bell cow, and we had Everett and Higbee pretty much splitting snaps enough that you couldn't really use either of them. Now it's a mess, and we've seen these guys all produce at different times. My best guess for what we see is we see Woods and Kupp, full-time wide receivers, and I think Higbee is a full-time player in his offense as well. We're going to have some type of committee with their 3 backs. And then I think we see, because McVay has talked about wanting to not be in such, heavy 11 personnel all the single time, just one running back, 1 tight end. So I think having Reynolds, having Van Jefferson, having Gerald Everett also still there, I just think we're going to see them more rotate that number 3 wide receiver position instead of making sure one of Reynolds or Van Jefferson is on the field at all times. So with that said, Higbee, he's just already kind of being priced. I guess if we want to say his ceiling is 16 games of what he was doing over the last 5 weeks, then he'd be the greatest tight end ever. But even if we're just reasonable about it and say, okay, he can be a reasonable tight end 1, he's being priced at that ceiling right now. So is Kupp. I think that makes Woods the guy to go get from this group. I mean, the floor is wild already, even without this expected, nice little boom in target share. Only Hopkins, Julio, Kelsey, Keenan, Michael Thomas, Kittle, Devontae Adams have more games with 5+ receptions and 50+ yards over these last 2 seasons. He has a great floor. I mean, the dude is averaging 18 rush attempts per season and over 130 targets. I mean, it's enough rushing volume that we actually got to pay attention to it. And, looking at these this wide receiver 2 range, I find myself taking running backs in the early rounds of drafts. But, man, if Woods falls a little bit and you can get him after going heavy with the running backs, you have an awesome floor.
Yeah, I love that one. It's such a great, just overall strategy point to is to not buy players at the ceiling and to look for those guys that are getting discounted and that you can bake some upside into the price that you're getting them at with Robert Woods. So to me, yeah, he definitely presents as maybe the best value. The one thing I loved that I saw out of Higbee, I mean, so you talk about the greatest tight end ever. If he did have a full season pace of what he did, it would be 180 targets, which is just insane. 1664 yards and 7 TDs with 138 receptions. So of course we know that's not going to happen, but I love just thinking of the 16 game pace of how ridiculous that was. But part of why that was happening, yes, Everett was out, but they also went to a lot more 2 tight end, 12 personnel. You mentioned the 11 personnel was just that locked in for a couple years. They went to that so much more down the stretch. 2 of their really biggest wins of the year against Seattle down the stretch, they were 71% 2 tight end sets, and that kind of facilitated that blowing up procedure for Higbee. So if this kind of move signals just an overall philosophy and overall formation shift, then maybe Higbee will have that ridiculous 23-18, 23-19, 22 pace. No, of course not. But if they do go 2 tight end for all the season, maybe there is that ceiling where it is there too. So that's the other guy I really like to highlight. Kupp's the one I kind of see myself avoiding a little bit right now, but not even avoiding. If he's there, he's there. There's just other guy like Thielen's off in there where Kupp's going. So I'm with you there. Give me Thielen all day. What is up, you Fantasy Wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.